Today guys, we bring you yet another triple range test. You guys have been asking me to test cheaper and more affordable electric cars for a while, and that's why we have the Cupra Born 59, the cheapest electric car from Cupra, the Volvo EX30 extended range, which is the cheapest electric Volvo, and also the brand new Kia EV3 long range, which is the new cheap entry into the electric car market from Kia. So today we're gonna find out how far these three electric cars can go on a full charge of battery at 120 kilometers an hour, guys. And if you're liking these videos, if you want more of these triple comparison videos where we take them out on the road at the same time and compare them directly, you have to hit that thumbs up button down below, and also subscribe to the channel, guys. It's completely free for you, but it helps me out a lot, so thank you very much. And I know these three versions aren't exactly identical, but these were the three cars we were able to get this week of testing. But what we're gonna do at the end of the video, we're gonna correct for the different battery pack sizes, because you can have this with also a 77 kilowatt hour battery pack, which is more comparable to the EV3's 78 kilowatt hour battery pack. The Volvo here is the smallest when it comes to the extended range version at only 64 kilowatt hours, but you can also have that with a 49 kilowatt hour battery pack version, which is maybe closer to this, and also the small battery pack version of the EV3. So guys, we're gonna try to cover all the bases as good as we can. So without further ado, let's get on the road and see which will win.
As per usual, we are doing this test on the E6 motorway north of Oslo. I will be driving the car in front, with the others following with their cruise control set to 120 kph and the furthest distance. All cabins will be set to around 20 degrees Celsius, and all cars will be run in their most efficient mode. Like every range test, we will be doing ABA testing, so differences in elevation and wind on the route will be eliminated. Every third of the way, we will change up cars, so differences in driving style shouldn't be a factor either.
And suddenly, the weather turned sunny. Clear blue skies, yeah, out of nowhere. So I'm starting this test in the Cupra Born 59 e-Boost. So this is about mid-pack here when it comes to performance. Electric motor in the rear, but with the smallest battery pack. And you may be thinking, hey Chris, why aren't you testing the ID3 or the new Skoda Elroq? Well, the new Skoda Elroq isn't out yet, and Volkswagen, funnily enough, didn't have any ID3s available. They said they don't have any press cars at the moment, so that's a bit curious. So that's why we have the third best thing, this Cupra Born. And I have to say, I really like the Cupra Born. And maybe it's not marketed as an SUV like the two other cars, but all of these cars are pretty much the same size, length and width and height. And yeah, this is more roomy than the EX30 when it comes to the interior. And I think, like, driving wise, this may be the best, like the best steering, the best body control, the most sporty feeling. But also, yeah, I think it also has more tire noise and road noise than the other cars here. I'm not going to be able to measure that today, but hopefully I'll measure that tomorrow, because I have to drive the cars on the same road, and I'll put it at the end of the video. I'm crossing my fingers for that. But yeah, I really like this car. Like, it's more taut and stiff than the other cars, but it's by no means harsh, but it is most definitely a more sportier setup. Seating position also, you sit low. The steering wheel is sporty. You have these cool buttons. Yeah, a really nice driving experience. So after about 30 minutes on the road, our average consumption in this is now 22.7 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Hello Håkon in the EX30. You want to share your consumption with us?
It's done 26.6 in 400 kilometers.
26.6? Wow, that is really high. Much higher than this. Okay. Okay, thanks Håkon. Talk to you later.
Yeah, see you, man. Bye.
Bye. Hello, Sindre in the EV3. So you want to share with us your average consumption thus far?
Right now, it's 22.5.
22.5. So you have the lowest out of the three. Okay, that is interesting. And you also have the biggest battery pack. And I think you're also the biggest car out of these. Wow, that is impressive. Okay, talk to you later. Bye-bye, Sindre.
Talk to them.
Bye.
Now that is a surprise that the EX30 is losing by a big margin and the EV3 is actually winning. I've now hopped into the Volvo EX30, also a small electric car I really like. This does have a higher driving position, seating position, and ride height than the Cupra Born, but I really like the way this drives. I think the steering here feels more natural, though not as heavy or as weighty, maybe not as precise. I think this chassis is more playful. There's more movement, there's more, you know, side to side motion, more like cars drove in the past, you know, way back in the day. I just feel that this car has a level of engagement that the two other cars just don't have. Even though that Cupra may like technically be better, I like this. Also, this seems a little bit more quiet on the inside, though these seats aren't as good as the seats in the Cupra, I'm gonna say that. And also the Cupra having, you know, its own screen here, I do like that, but I also really like this, you know, the middle infotainment system screen here. But this car, with its high consumption, after, you know, 115 kilometers on the road, average consumption is at 25.0 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So let's call up Sindre in the Cupra. Hello, Sindre.
Hello.
So you want to give us a status on your consumption so far?
At the moment, I am on 22.4.
22.4. Yeah, that is a lot lower than in this car. That is interesting. Okay, thanks for the update. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye. Let's call up Håkon in the EV3 now.
Yes.
Hello, Håkon. How are you?
Good.
So, what do you think about the Kia?
It's pretty nice.
Do you like it better than the Volvo?
I like the Volvo better, but that's because I like sitting a bit higher.
Okay, interesting, okay. So you want to give us your average consumption after 115 kilometers on the road now?
Yeah, 22.6.
22.6, wow, that is also a lot lower than in this car. It looks like the EX30 is winning the consumption battle. Okay, talk to you later, buddy. Bye-bye. Bye. Okay, yeah, it's not looking good for the EX30 because this car is just in a different league when it comes to the consumption. That is not expected at all. Lastly, I'm in the EV3, the newest car of the bunch on the newest platform. And though all of these cars are similar in exterior dimensions, when it comes to the interior, the packaging of this is so impressive because this is so much bigger. It's wider, it's airier, it's roomy. It feels like two classes above when it comes to the interior dimensions compared to those other cars. But road noise is a lot more apparent in this car. It's a lot more noisy. I think the Volvo is the quietest, followed by the Cupra, and this is last place easily. It's a lot more noisy, but it's mostly tire noise. I think wind noise is quite nicely suppressed. And also, I don't really like the driving position of this car. Like with the EV9, you sit kind of awkward. It's not as bad as that car, but I think the EV6's driving position is a lot better than this driving position. And also, these seats, I just find them too harsh and they don't fit my body style particularly well. I think the Cupra seats are easily the best here, followed by the Volvo. But enough about that, let's get on with this range test. We're gonna connect to the chargers in a different location. We're gonna go a little bit further because there's gonna be a lot of traffic at the Ionity chargers. We're gonna go to Essen Gardermoen. We're gonna connect after a few hours on the road and see what charging speed we're gonna get after just passive preconditioning. All of these cars except the Volvo has active preconditioning. So if you want, you can precondition the battery for a faster charge, but we don't do that in this test. We wanna see how the car performs after just a few hours on the road. Okay guys, we're now back, or not back, we're at a different charging station now. We're at Esso in Gardermoen. And the reason I wanted to go here, and I wanted to go to the other chargers, is because I thought it was gonna be a lot less cars here, but that was full. Here is almost full. So we're right here with, I think it was 41% stated charge with the Kia. Of course, this is a long range variant, so you know we're gonna arrive with a lot more battery, but we're gonna base the range on the battery pack size and the consumption, and we're gonna correct for this being available in a standard range, the Volvo being available also in a standard range, and the Cupra being available in a long range. But okay, we have not preconditioned battery as I said earlier. We're getting, I don't know, it's probably gonna ramp up a little bit. But in the meantime, let's jump over to the Volvo and let's see if we can connect this car. Yeah, it's a lot of ice and snow here. So there we go. Let's see if we can authorize with the card. So all of these chargers now have payment terminals, which make it easy. Let's see if we can get that to go. Okay, so let's connect. And this has the charge port on the driver's side, on the rear side. So the Kia is actually the car with the lowest peak charging speed. And if you come closer now, we can see we're only getting 61 kilowatts at 42% stated charge. The peak charging speed of this Kia, even though it has the bigger battery pack here, by far is only 135 kilowatts. The Volvo should do 153. And let's see, it's still preparing the charge. So in the meantime, we can connect the Cupra. It has its charge port on the passenger side. So let's find my card again now. And the Cupra with the smallest battery pack actually has a peak charging speed of 165 kilowatts, which is curious. Is that correct? If not, I'm going to correct myself on the screen now. So while this is initializing and ramping up speed, let's check out the Volvo. So we are right here with 8% with the Volvo only, getting 60 kilowatts. So this car, we only charged this to 88 or 89%. I think the Kia we charged to like 90 something, and also this like to 96 or 97. So this had the smallest charge. We didn't start with the same charging amount with these cars, which is irrelevant because that's not how we calculate the range and the consumption. Let's hop over here and see if we're getting, okay, so now we're at 16% now with the Cupra. And let's see if we can get more speed out of this than with the other cars without preconditioning, but this car does have active preconditioning. So the charger is telling us now that the car is limiting the charge speed to 73 kilowatts. If you come closer now, and now it's ramping up, look at that. That is very, very impressive. 99 kilowatts, 98 kilowatts. Yeah, this car is easily getting the highest charge speed of these cars. Now the Volvo is ramped up to 73 kilowatts. So yeah. Okay guys, now let's go through the results. And the way we do this is that we take the usable battery capacities of these cars, we divide them by the consumption, and then we subtract 3% for heat and discharging losses, and we get the results. So in third place, may be a surprise or may not be a surprise, is the Volvo EX30 extended range. Though it has a bigger battery pack than the Cupra, because of higher consumption, it only was able to achieve 256 kilometers of real-world range under today's conditions, which is, I mean, it's okay. It's a small car, small battery, maybe not the most aerodynamic shape, also the most ground clearance. Here clearing, to my driveway, the snow here. These two cars grounded out, this didn't. So this car actually has proper ground clearance, though this is only rear-wheel drive. In second place, no surprise, is the Cupra Born 59. Yes, a smaller battery pack, but because of the much lower consumption, it was actually able to manage 260 kilometers of range, beating out this just a little bit. And then, of course, in first place, to nobody's surprise, because this is the long-range variant of these cars, is the EV3 long range. This being the GT line is by far the most expensive car here because it is the top spec. And when we do the numbers and the calculations, this managed 335 kilometers of real-world range, and I think that is actually very, very impressive. Yes, a little bit higher consumption than this, but when we also do the calculations and we, project what we would have been able to achieve if this was the smaller battery pack version and we had the 77 here instead of, the 59, then we get interesting numbers. I counted about 3% difference in consumption. I don't know if that's realistic or not. That's kind of like a guesstimation. But with that, we have some interesting numbers. Then with the Born 77, 329 kilometers, and with the EV3, standard range 243 kilometers, which is a little bit less than this, but a much smaller battery pack. But when we also account for that, for the standard range with this, that's only 202 kilometers of range, which is either way the least range of all of the cars here. So guys, let me know what you think about the results. I'm pretty surprised that this was actually the most efficient when you don't consider this. But also, when we do the calculations, like the projected range for this and the consumption is actually lower with the smaller battery pack than this with the 59 kilowatt hour battery pack. So guys, let me know what you think about the results. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye.